G'day traders, we're going to wrap up of Wednesday the 28th of March. So we started this particular day with quite a bit of toing and froing. Looked like we pushed up a bit, and we are in a buyer's market, and it looked like the markets want to head back up and go for some areas on the upside. Then we started to push down again. We got all this momentum to the downside, and we actually had other markets as well, quickly switching from the downside to the upside, and we had this real toing and froing up until about 10:30 where it looked like I was really capable of breaking one way or another. Remembering, the previous day, Tuesday, was a very slow sideways day. So after such a slow day like that, it looked like the market really wanted to move one way or the other. So looked like a breakout was coming. But all through this here, I don't know what you can put it down to. Just watching the other markets, and I guess it's a little bit of experience, and it was holding up areas and just had this look like it really did want to break down. And if you compress these 5-minute charts, you'll see that it's actually in a bit of a pullback, and it had a lot of room on the downside. There wasn't a lot holding it till it got down to about this point here, actually 1392. So there was plenty of room, even though we're in a buyer's market, but plenty of room for it to push down, and that's exactly what it did. It started to break here. From there, we saw this great little downtrend, and then it started to pull back. So this area here, we're looking for potential pullbacks. Ideally want it to start pulling up around here and line up with this resistance here, and then see some pressure on the downside and look at some sort of continuation then with the sellers. But in the end, the pullback was very shallow, very hard to get on that pullback when it's like that. Forms a little shoulder. As this predictor was crossing down, we're approaching basically these cash market lows again. It really looked like the market had a lot of potential to break down. Everything pushing down, other markets breaking, predictive pushing down, and the fact that this was quite a compact shoulder with a lot of momentum on the downside, it easily broke these lows, and then from there it's just the floodgates open, and from there it pushed a lot lower, and we charged down through a couple of power points. Then from there we hit lunchtime, and started to get a little bit messy, a little bit sideways. Thought it had a chance of potentially pulling back a little bit more than possibly getting on the downside again, but in the end it just forms a bit of a sideways pattern. We did have another 5-minute sell come up here, so this is the second pullback of a downtrend. So these are alright areas to take if it's a consistent, solid area. Just for my mind, even though there was nothing breaking to the upside, it was quite messy, and the fact we're quite extended and it's the second pullback, it just wasn't quite the right area, considering where we are with such an extended trend. So that one would have just been stopped out. Then it kept on going sideways till we came in lunch, tried to push it a little bit lower. These lows just about held, and then from there it pushed up. It's predictive, crossed up here, and there was quite a bit of momentum here. If you saw this live, some of the other markets are breaking up as well, and we are in a buyer's market. Remembering on the dailies we're still long, and it looked like it was going to make back some ground here, and from there it basically retraced half that trend we had today, and within it there was this 5-minute fade just here where we had again another quick pullback and then push to the upside. But once again, a little bit of a shallow pullback. Ideally, you can see it's pulled back around here. We'd like to get the entry down at the bottom of this candle or something like that, give you a lot more confidence in taking that, and then seeing it push to the upside. Where it is here, it could quite easily just pop down, get your stops, and then push up. You can see could have easily done that with all these wicks and stuff falling a little bit lower. So just not the right entry there, but definitely the right area as far as potential for the market to head up. Just show you on the 1-minute chart. So here's this toing and froing we had up until about 10:30. You can see we pushed up, then we pushed down, started pushing up again, and looked like it had a bit of momentum. It was going to go up and look at the cash market highs, and then we started to break down, and then again it pushed up, down, then formed the shoulder, and then from there it started to break. This is basically the first pullback of a decent downtrend, and again it's the one that came. It was quite shallow. There was didn't pull back to any power points or anything, and from there it just broke lower. Cruised through the yellow quite easily and hit the 5th power point on the downside. From there, once you hit a yellow, what we'd look for is a 2 power point pullback. So hit the purple. Ideally you want to see the purple fail and then come back and get the next power point, and that's a great area to sell from. After you see a 10-point downtrend, taking the second power point like that has been working quite a bit. You'll find that works about 7 out of 10 times. But in the end it didn't quite get there, and obviously we had this very much sideways movement through lunch, pushed down a little bit lower. Then it was this area here, this power fade, which worked quite well, and that's where all the momentum was switching to the upside, and we had a predictive crossing up, and looked like the markets want to push it up. So, considering we're with the dailies, if we went with the buyers on the dailies, you wouldn't even contemplate this. But considering we are in a buyer's market, this was definitely had a chance, and at the time, it looked quite good in the live market. And then from there, we've pushed a bit higher. We've got this little bit of a sideways pullback before just finishing up a little bit higher again. But overall, great to see some movement, some pullbacks, and definitely market showing a bit of life, and that's just come as a result of, again, the markets pulling back from the highs. As soon as we see the markets pull back from the highs of the daily charts, straight away back comes the action and that toing and froing between the buy and sellers, which is what we like to see. So that's a wrap up for Wednesday, and speak to you guys tomorrow.